Inside the Woburn Public Media Center studios as we get set for a Middlesex League matchup between the visiting Burlington Red Devils and your hometown Woburn Tanners. He is Ezekiel Altman. My name is Joey Matroni, and we are excited to be back with you for another edition of high school basketball on WPMC. Now, Zeke, these are two teams in Woburn and Burlington who have started the year in a completely different fashion. Burlington currently standing with a record of 7-3, and the Woburn Tanners with a record of 1-7.
Well, yeah, Burlington. A very interesting point you make about Burlington specifically. They lost a lot of senior talent last year with Cedric Rodriguez, who is at Springfield College now, as well as Jaden Brent. But they're a very sound defensive team. They don't lack leadership. They have guys that can score the basketball. If you look at these guys, you look at Sakandi, another player to look at. He's been their leading scorer on many occasions, and they can work down the stretch. Ryan Ellison, he's been a closer. He had 10 fourth quarter points in a big win against Wakefield a couple weeks ago. They don't lack in anything. There's a reason they are 7-3, and there's a reason they are fourth in Division II.
Yeah, absolutely, Zeke. And looking at that Wakefield game, a game in which they won 51-50, you mentioned that Ellis 10-point fourth quarter, but this Red Devils team was down 16 points at one point in that game, and they were able to erase that deficit and come away with a 16-point win. Now, one thing I want to mention before we get into this one, one of the common opponent games we can go over for this one is Belmont. Belmont is the lone win for this Woburn Tanners team so far this year. They won that one by a final score of 45-43 on a Nick DeFelice game-winning isolation basket towards the end of that one. And it was Burlington who actually got upset by Belmont earlier on in the season for one of their 3 losses. Now, quickly approaching the start of this one, and Zeke, I think it's going to be more of the guard play that's going to create offense for this Woburn Tanner team. Looking at those guys like Nick DeFelice, Jacoby Altman's been coming off the bench in a more prominent role as well. And Jamari Francois is going to have an opportunity to play guard more as well as we get into this game. Something to look for in terms of the guard play for them, as well as their ability to break the press on the offensive side. The ability to not break the press has caused some slow offensive starts for this Woburn Tanner team, and that has also become a reason how these defensive teams, or opposing teams rather, have created offensive runs against the Woburn Tanners.
Well, something that you look at when you think about this Woburn team is the adversity that they have gone through all season long. They switched coaches mid-season. A lot of these players have to adjust to that new coaching style. They're 1-7, 1-6 in the Middlesex League, but they've been close in a lot of games. That Wakefield game, they blew a lead. That Lexington game, they blew a lead. They were close against Arlington the other night. That was a very impressive performance. Can they do it again today? This Burlington team, they've played well, but they kind of have bugs where they lose big games. They lost against Belmont. Woburn's singular win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the changes come on both sides, but for now, we'll send it down courtside for the Woburn Tanner starting lineups and the Star-Spangled Banner before we get underway.
Number 22, Jamari Francois. Number 21, Jacoby Altman. Number 0, Mikey Sullivan. And number 13, Thomas O'Brien. Would everyone now please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Joey Matroni and Zeke Altman back with you inside the Woburn Public Media Center studios as we get set for the start of this ball game between the Red Devils and the Tanners. We'll take a look at the starting lineup. Zeke will go first with the Woburn Tanners, which will be Chris Chiodo, Jamari Francois, Jacoby Altman, Thomas O'Brien, and Mikey Sullivan.
Well, yeah, it's a change from what they've gone before with Matt Olson and Nick DeFelice taking a seat on the bench for Chris Chiodo and Jacoby Altman. And Altman, let's be honest, he's been great for this team. In that Arlington game, Woburn played Arlington evenly for 3 quarters. The one quarter they didn't, and Arlington took the lead in, was the second quarter. Altman did not play a minute in that quarter.
Yeah, Zeke, and I was talking a lot about their guard play at the top of the show, and I think this shows that the coaching staff for the Tanners have trust in a lot of the guards that are on this Tanner team.
Yeah, for sure, and they have depth. They have Francois, you have Altman, and then you go to the bench and then you see Nick DeFelice and a young guy like Aiden Brown, along with Mikey Sullivan, who can play the point guard position just as well as all of them.
Underway with the Red Devils at the top of the key, Chris Chiodo guarding the ball to get us started. On the free throw line, driving inside, the left-handed finish is up and over the net, no good, but we get a foul.
Take a look at that play, and I believe that's Anthony Guerrier at the line for the 2 free throws. Burlington attacking Woburn right from the start. One of the notes I had for Woburn is their lack of physicality. Look, this Burlington team is young. They've lost a lot of guys. That's maybe one of their weaknesses. So that's something Woburn can attack. But Burlington proving that that point was wrong in the first place with that physical move in the first possession.
Guerrier knocks down the 2 free throws, and it's Jamari Francois on the other end, working a dribble handoff with Jacoby Altman. Bounce pass to Sullivan, back to the top of the key near the volleyball line. Now a swing for Francois, but his pass is intercepted, and Burlington comes the other way. Chris Chiodo on defense again, guarding the ball. He knocked it loose, and it'll be Woburn ball. Turnover forced there by the Tanners.
Well, something we've noticed about Woburn is in Francois. Francois is a vicious defender. He's energetic, but sometimes he can be careless with the basketball, maybe a little too wild with the dribble, sprinting too far down the court as another loose ball here.
This one will stay with the Tanners, but Zeke, that's the first instance of the half-court press we've seen, and that was a struggle that you and I both noted going into this game for the Tanners backcourt. Sullivan works the dribble handoff with Altman once again. Now back to Chiodo. Chiodo driving in at the top of the key through the lane, and the layup is good off the glass.
Well, that's a guy that really hasn't gotten going in his Tanner career. Had a couple sparks last year, and he's been solid at some points this season, but Chris Chiodo needs to figure out a way to be more aggressive if he wants to start having that jump in his high school basketball career.
I believe that's going to be Sakandi calling for the travel as he went down on the defense from Sullivan, and it's another turnover forced by Woburn, the second of the game so far for the Red Devils. Back outside, O'Brien working ISO against Sakandi. He throws one high arcing up off the glass, out of bounds.
Once again, a wild shot. Woburn need to get in their sets and work their offense a little bit better.
Altman going one-on-one with Guerrier. Guerrier throws one up. Altman gets the rebound, and he'll reset to Thomas O'Brien.
Yeah, incredible defense by Jacoby Altman there. That Burlington player had to go all the way through the paint. Altman stayed steady, didn't foul, and once again, a wild shot by Burlington.
Sullivan driving right in and finishing with the right hand off the rim.
Well, Sullivan can do that all game. That's his game. He can shoot the three. He's really a three-facet scorer.
Pass out of the reach of Sakani in the corner, and it's the third early Burlington turnover. Whistle there, and a stoppage in play with 5:42 in your score, 4-2. I believe we're going to get a push called there.
Burlington foul number 25, Chandler.
Burlington foul will be called on number 25, Cole Shannon.
Yeah, credit to Ed McGuire there on the inbounds play. Altman took the screen and found the space, and a good finish. You know, he's a small guy, but he's very strong, Jacoby Altman.
Guerrier hits the deck, and the Tanners force yet another turnover. It's Chiodo coming the other way. Sullivan tries a wing three. That one rattles out, and the rebound for the Red Devils.
Boy, Joey, that release from Sullivan, it totally looked like he was feeling it.
There's a three on the other end by the Red Devils. I believe that's number 5, Ty Borisgano.
That is a lack of communication. 2 Tanner players jumping up as Burlington catching them sleeping.
Now Francois with some tight defense on the wing, and now a swing out. Cole Shannon had the ball there for a moment. Now a backcourt violation is going to be called against number 2, Maddie Gray, and Tanner's forced yet another turnover. Altman getting another opportunity to handle the ball with the Tanners up by a score of 6-4 here in the first quarter. Francois on the top of the key, nice dribble moves, gets the right hand shot up and off the glass, good for 2. Nice drive there on the other end for the Red Devils, entering the Francois layup. It's Matty Gray making up for his turnover just a possession ago.
Yeah, Matty Gray, one of the star players on this Burlington team, the senior captain, shows the trust that head coach Phil Connors has in him.
Knocked loose again. Inside to O'Brien, and the foul. Great ball tracking there by Mikey Sullivan, that was Cristiano on the basket, my mistake. He will go to the line for an opportunity for a three-point play, as O'Brien will check out. And Ethan Samuel was into the game for the first time alongside Jairus Teshabe.
Well, this is something I talked about with Chris Chiodo. When he gets the confidence as a younger player, he can really run with it. As he knocks down his free throw and makes it a three-point play, he can run with it. And he's a guy that is working hard in practice, playing really good basketball, and he deserves his spot in the starting lineup he got today.
Matty Gray working one-on-one against Francois. A timeout there, I believe, will be called by head coach Phil Connors, and we will take a break for the first time in this ballgame with the score 11-6 in favor of the Woburn Tanners with 3:42 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, Joe, I've seen a team in Woburn that are confident, moving the basketball well, and attacking it. They only have 2 turnovers opposed to Burlington's 4. And that difference in possession is a big part of success for Woburn. They have guys that are attacking, like Chris Chiodo. He has 5 points in this one. You saw that play for Altman on the inbounds. He has 2 points. And Sullivan. When you see Mikey Sullivan confident on the drive, it means beautiful things for any offense.
Absolutely. And I think, too, Zeke, another aspect of this game that could see an improvement with the ability to drive, if teams realize that the Tanners are having success driving the basketball, they're going to have to send more defenders into the paint, which could open up outside shots for guys like Chris Chiodo, who's proven he can shoot from the outside as well, along with Mikey Sullivan if Sullivan's not the one handling the ball.
100%. One thing that Ed McGuire likes to go to is those hockey substitutions, maybe inspired by, of course, girls head coach Steve Sullivan has 5 new Woburn players into the game.
The 3 for the Red Devils is no good, and Francois grabs the rebound. Teshabe back to Francois. Now Jamari drives right in and finishes off the glass with the right again.
This Woburn team attacking the paint strong, not settling for bad threes, really playing good offense right now.
Aiden Brown also into the game for the first time, and Nick DeFelice, another one of those guards we talked about at the top of the show. DeFelice was trying to defend Gray. We've got a whistle there.
You know, that's tough if you're Nick DeFelice. You're a small guy with a bigger guy going downhill on you. It's really difficult to guard that. And credit Nick DeFelice for staying in there. You could question the foul call, but well-deserved from Gray.
First shot up and good, making it a 6-point deficit.
See if Burlington continue to attack that matchup of Nick DeFelice, as he is a smaller guy and less experienced defensively, unlike Altman and O'Brien.
Credit number 25, Cole Shannon with those free throws. And another whistle there. We'll have to see what that call is. I'm not positive the decision on that one, as Gray will inbound side out. Now Shannon working one-on-one against DeFelice. Swung outside. Onto the wing, now to the opposite wing after coming to the top of the key. Aiden Brown on the defense here. Under 2:20 to go in this first quarter. A beautiful spin by Gray, getting himself right to the cup for two.
What a move by Matty Gray, as he faced two different Woburn guards, Aiden Brown and Francois, and totally torched both of them.
Ethan Samuel tried a spin of his own, trying to get to the rack. It is no good, and I believe the call is going to be an offensive foul or an out-of-bounds call. Drive to the outside, high arcing pass, out to the wing, now swung for number 1. That is Ryan Ellis, and a whistle there. DeFelice set to inbound to Jairus Tashave. Aiden Brown getting an opportunity here to handle the ball. He swings it for DeFelice on the left wing. The lefty drives right in, trying to get his angle to shoot, and floats one up, and it's good.
Yeah, crafty move from the senior guard, Nick DeFelice. Couldn't go with his strong left, shifted to his strong right, and rose confidently.
The left-handed three is up in the air and good for Burlington. That's number 4, Justin Gray, on the launch from beyond the arc. Ethan Samuel now on the opposite wing goes out for Nick DeFelice. Using that pivot foot. Now the left side drive. Pulls up on the wing. Shot no good.
Well, you look at the 5 they have on the floor right now for Woburn. This is, as an air ball there from Burlington, this is Woburn's Nick DeFelice's offense. Nick DeFelice is running this offense. He's the best ball handler on the floor and a guy that can facilitate very efficiently, seeing the younger guys on the floor with him.
Aiden Brown driving right in through contact. He finishes, and he'll have a chance for 3 at the line.
Aiden Gray to Aiden Brown.
Yeah, Aiden Brown, once again, one of the younger players. He's a sophomore, drives in confidently, finishes with the right hand, and now he's at the line to complete the 3-point play, which he does. So this full Woburn team attacking the paint, not settling for threes and mid-range shots, and really working to the game plan maybe that Ed McGuire planned for this one.
That makes it a 5-point lead for the Tanners. As number 25, Cole Shannon, was set to bring the ball up there, and another whistle. Ethan Samuel picks up the foul, and Shannon will reset it, being guarded by DeFelice. No rush here for the Red Devils as the clock goes under 10. Now they start the play. Driving right in, Matty Gray through contact finishes. Ethan Samuel spins off a defender, firing one up. Does not get towards the rim, but the Woburn Tanners will have a lead after one by a score of 18-15.
Yeah, Joe, it looked like Matty Gray was trying to yam that one there as he rose with two hands and finished strong. So credit to Burlington, they're sticking in this one, of course, in Woburn. So the hostile environment's not on Burlington's side. Woburn have an advantage in this one. And credit the guys, Chris Chiodo, Jamari Francois, Aiden Brown, all attacking the rim, all being very efficient with Woburn's offense. And look, Woburn look good. Credit Ed McGuire, credit the coaching, and credit the way they are playing their offense because they're not settling. They're scoring the basketball at fruition. And Burlington just not being able to respond defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the toughness and the energy in which this Tanners team is playing is most evident in their drives to the rim, I think, up to this point in the game. You saw Jamari Francois drive right to the basket at least twice and finish with the right hand off the glass. So Tanner's not really afraid of the physicality up to this point in the game, which was a question mark for us coming in.
Yeah, Tanner's not afraid at all, but it's because guys on Burlington are not showing up. There are a couple guys, you look at Ryan Ellis, those 10 points in the fourth quarter against Wakefield. He doesn't have a singular point. Leon Secondi, once again, not a point. So these are a couple guys that need to start showing up if Burlington want a chance to win this basketball.
DeFelice gets us underway in the second quarter, swinging it to Shabby. And now he sets a screen for Aiden Brown back on the ball. Swung for Ethan Samuel, who will try a wing three. Off the rim, no good. And the first stop of the second quarter belongs to the Red Devils.
Now look, Joey, despite the miss, that's good offense. They get Ethan Samuel on the off-ball screen, the wide open three, and he gets it.
Rebound there for the Tanners, and now some pressure off of the miss coming from the Red Devils. And Tishabe driving in, stopped on the elbow. Miscommunication there with DeFelice, and it's a turnover and another stop for the Red Devils as Sullivan checks back in along with Chiodo and Francois. Into the corner, another three opportunity, and this one's good again. Matty Gray kind of been the offensive fire for this Red Devil team here early in this one. And it's an answer from Jacoby Altman after the Red Devils tie it up with a Gray three.
Yeah, Matty Gray, you see here, once again, he has been the offensive firepower for Burlington as another turnover from Burlington on the illegal screen. Francois definitely happy about that one as he got jabbed on the way by. But Matty Gray, just everything that Burlington asked for and more today, as he has 8 points, has hit a three. He's been very good offensively.
Cole Shannon picks up the off-the-ball foul on a nice drive in by Sullivan. Now he's out of the play. 5-on-4 coming the other way are the Red Devils. The corner three is good, and it's the first lead of the evening for the Red Devils at 21-20.
Jack Mercier gets his first touch of the game, and this Burlington team throughout the years has always been able to shoot the basketball.
Sullivan thought about the three, now drives in. Scoop layup with the right is off the mark, but a foul. Zeke, sorry about that.
Don't worry, Joey. Don't worry. As, you know, I bring it back to Jacoby Allman. In that game against Arlington, a lot of the buckets he got were in the paint, using his physicality. He's one of the stronger guys on this team, backing down defenders and really getting the ball in the catch and scoring it very efficiently. As, you know, he doesn't miss a lot of shots, but the reason for that is he doesn't take a lot of bad shots. So you look at his scoring totals against Arlington and you look at them today and you look at the percentage of his field goal percentage, it's very, very good.
Sullivan only goes 1 of 2 from the line, but we have a tie game at 21-21 with 5:57 and counting left to go in this first half of basketball. Gray on the wing, lost it off his hand, and it's another Red Devil turnover.
Yeah, Burlington actually not taking care of the basketball very well, keeping Woburn in it. In reality, they are a more talented basketball team, but Woburn just making less mistakes right now. Something that you usually don't say about the Tanners.
And they've shown up to play from the jump tonight out of the Tanners as Chiodo drives in. That one's a tough roll off the rim, no good, and Gray gets the rebound, and he's looking to push across the Bull logo. Defended by Chiodo, now driving in is number 4. That is
Burlington basket number 4.
Justin Gray with the basket. Mikey Sullivan on the wing using a screen from Thomas O'Brien right inside to Thomas. He pump fakes, what a move! The high arcing layup doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Sullivan gets denied at the rim. Justin Gray tries a 3. That one's off the front of the rim. Jamari Francois comes away with the rebound, and he's looking to push. Now we'll slow it down and reset the play. He's going to try and do it all by himself off the glass, and it's good.
Boy, Jamari has come to play today. He is driving hard and using his speed and athleticism that we all know and love about Mr. Francois.
Justin Gray looking to answer, now swung in the corner. Thomas O'Brien with a nice closeout. Now a screen. And a reset back out to Matty Gray, guarded by Mikey Sullivan. Now working one-on-one. Francois came with the help. Kick to a corner. And no good. Francois looking to push again. Straight to the basket he goes. This time he's denied at the rim.
Yeah, Matty Gray read that shot from maybe before the game. Maybe he saw that before the game, read that shot. Jamari Francois, very predictable, went up with the right hand, didn't use his body to create space, and that's the result that you'll always get when a guy like Matty Gray is defending.
Chiodo with a long outlet pass to Altman. Now back to Altman off the pass from Sullivan. Inside to Chiodo for the easy 2.
Beautiful offense from Woburn. Sullivan dished it right back to Altman with the ball moving. Altman drove in very quietly and dished that pass to Chiodo. Almost looked like a no-look dime.
And a very easy 2 there, and I believe they're going to get O'Brien for the bump there. Only his first foul of this game, and I believe we're going to have a timeout here. So with 3:52 remaining in the first half, the Tanners still on top by a slim 2-point margin, 25-23.
Yeah, Burlington had a run, and Woburn responded. So you have to credit Woburn. They've had a couple times this year where they weren't able to respond to runs, like Arlington last Friday, like Lexington, like Wakefield. Here they were able to respond to this run. So they need to figure it out. They need to understand that this bad run that they've had is behind them, and they need to go forward effectively, efficiently, and with composure.
Yeah, Zeke, and I think that's a sentiment that can really be used throughout all sports, but it's even more important here for the Tanners as they've had struggles throughout the season, but the idea of win today is something that I think can be a positive for the Tanners, and trying to be 1-0 X amount of times as you remain with the games in this season.
Well, one thing Woburn have to focus on in this season is, look, they're 1-7. Everyone knows that, but they need to focus on the moment and the game. They can't focus on the next game or the next 3 games. They have to focus on winning this basketball game. If they keep focusing on the rest of their year, then they're not going to win any more basketball games. And that year is going to be a very disappointing one to talk about.
Altman picks up the ball handler in the backcourt. Now a drive right inside and the easy 2.
Burlington basket number 10,
Anthony Guerrier picks up the basket there. Now Altman with an opportunity to answer. Swung out to Francois. Now O'Brien working isolation from the top of the key into the post. Spinning, and he got denied right at the apex of the ball. Got it back with a little dump inside, and he got it for 2 off the glass, and good.
Yeah, look at Thomas O'Brien. You know, Joey, he could have said, oh, Matty Gray, 2 blocks in the last couple possessions. I'm going to pass it out to the wing. O'Brien stood strong and finished at the rim.
Out of bounds there. The Red Devils will retain possession on a hard drive there. Ellis checking back into the game for the Red Devils, and he will set up the inbound on the stack. They break the stack, and now the offense resets. The drive inside, going up, no good. Second chance rolls all the way around and in. Tied at 27, under 3 minutes to go. Guerrier gets another one.
Yeah, Guerrier starting to light up. One of the best players on this Burlington team. He was one of those guys that started off slow. Would not love to see him go and have a good game if you were Woburn.
A great move inside the post that had everything but the basket for O'Brien. Now swung outside. Three-pointer on the way, no good. O'Brien fighting for the rebound, and he does rip it away. Francois wasn't ready for the return pass from Sullivan, and it's a Tanner turnover, leading to another possession for the Red Devils with 2:16 to go in the first half. Thought about the three, did Gray. Or Ellis, that was on the wing. Now Matty Gray, now he has it at the top of the key. Triple team comes by the Tanners, and it's a travel call on Matty Gray. So the extra defensive presence made Gray think about it for an extra second, and it caused the travel.
Yeah, Burlington up to 8 turnovers right now. Not something you want to see if you're Phil Connors. His teams throughout the years have been very efficient, shot the ball well, and played good offense with the leadership. Keeping the basketball is about leadership and being able to take the onus on yourself.
We talked about losing a guy like Cedric Rodriguez, who's of course now moved on to play at Springfield College, as Altman will have a second chance, coming away with the rebound. His hard layup off the rim, no good. And now an unnecessary foul call by Samuel there. I didn't think he needed to get his hands there. It seemed like the Red Devils had that rebound.
Well, look, although Altman missed that drive, that's exactly what Woburn's game plan has been, driving hard into the paint and taking contested or non-contested layups. So credit to Altman for continuing that.
DeFelice into the game now for the Tanners as Francois defends the drive, no good. Second chance for the Red Devils outside. Gray tries a three, doesn't go. A third opportunity. Gray now looks to drive in, ball knocked loose, and Tashabe comes away with it.
Good collective effort of defense there by the Tanners, but especially Ethan Samuel at the point.
Francois with another tough drive, no good. Bodies hit the deck, and a foul call there with a minute and a second remaining in the first half.
2 stupid fouls in 2 straight possessions from Woburn. Ethan Samuel on one end after the turnover, and then Jamari Francois there. It's just not smart. It really isn't. And it gives Burlington that life and that hope to go make a play because of that foul.
Yeah, Zeke, I think what those 2 fouls come down to is just the overabundance of aggressiveness from the Tanners sometimes on the defensive end, and that's what allows them to get out of sync as Gray finishes, plus the foul at the rim.
There you go, Joe. I mean, silly fouls, they become contagious around a team, and Aiden Brown didn't put his hands up, didn't defend hard, and there you go, Matty Gray at the line to complete the 3-point play, and he's up to 10 points now with a chance to make it 11.
He is not able to make it 11 as Aiden Brown will come away with the rebound off the missed free throw. Under 40 seconds to go in this game, or in the first half rather. My apologies. Kickball violation, I believe, is the call there, and the Tanners will retain possession with 30.3 seconds remaining in the first half. Jairus Tashabe looking to inbound it. He does so to Jamari Francois, who immediately finds a double team. Ethan Samuel drives right in and finishes, and it's 29-29.
Good finish by Ethan Samuel. Good job driving hard and finishing at the rim.
He went for a steal there, almost overcompensated, able to get back. Did spin off. Now Ellis driving into the corner. The three goes up. The three is no good and off the mark. Aiden Brown unable to get a shot off before the buzzer sounds. But man, this has been a competitive first half, Zeke. 29-29 after 16 minutes.
Well, Joey, you don't say this a lot about this Woburn Tanners team in the last couple of years, but we have a basketball game here. 29-29, these two teams are sticking to their game plans, and they've been working. Now, which team is going to fold? Which team is going to start slow in this second half? That is going to be the story the rest of the way.
Yeah, Zeke, it has been a story, especially for the Woburn Tanners, as we've seen firsthand in that Lexington game we did earlier on in the season. They built a double-digit lead against the Minutemen before ultimately ending up losing that game by double digits. So a 20-point turnaround almost was given up there. And I think now it's going to come down to, can you stick to the game plan for the longest time in order to stick around with the Red Devils?
Yeah, for sure. And Woburn just needs to play hard, needs to continue playing how they were defensively, not committing those stupid fouls and turning over the basketball. That is very important, Joe.
We're in for a good one in the final 16 minutes of action, but for now we'll take a break here on WPMC with the score 29-all here in Woburn. she an author?
No, she runs a company. Welcome back inside Woburn Public Media Center studios for the second half of action. Once again, my name's Zeke Altman here with my buddy, friend, and, on the side broadcast partner, Joey Matroni. We are back here for second half action. All modded up 29, Joe.
A much more competitive game than we were expecting heading into this one. The records aren't really proving what this game has turned out to be. Through 16 minutes, the offenses for both sides have looked good, 29 points each.
Yeah, and the leading scorer for the Tanners, Chris Chiodo. What have you seen from him?
I think he's kind of been the catalyst for a lot of the guards' success has been for this Tanner team. Up to this point in the game, they've had success using their size and physicality to drive to the rim and get layups at will for the most part.
Well, Chris Chiodo and the offense back out there for the Tanners. Second half action is now underway. Burlington with the first possession. Cole Shannon with the basketball finds Maddie Gray in the corner. Dishes it for a wide open three for Burlington. Missed. That is Anthony Guerrier, but a battle for it in the corner, and they will call it. Still waiting.
Sullivan hit the deck on the way down as well.
Looks like they're going to call a foul on Michael Sullivan. Interesting.
I think where that foul comes from is there's a cut inside.
Matty Gray with the catch. Tried to put it in, couldn't do it, but he got his own rebound. Burlington's still with it.
Where that foul may have come from is how Sullivan came down, trying to rip away the ball, maybe too much contact.
A wide open three from Burlington missed once again. Burlington seemed to not be able to get their offense going, but so can't Woburn. They turn it over. Burlington going the other way, but a good play by Thomas O'Brien. The Charge King strikes again.
Perfectly getting himself in the path of Secondi. Stopped on a dime, no movement from his bottom half, and it creates a charge.
Leon Secondi yet to get going for Burlington as Jamari Francois with the fast drive. Nothing there, Burlington going fast.
Great move by Francois, just no finish on the other end, just too strong.
Another player with an egg on the scoreboard is Ryan Ellis. Well, Ellis and Secondi, two players that have been so key for everything Burlington have done this year with nothing. Francois on the wing, drives left, gives it out to Chiodo for a three on the wing. Air ball. Burlington going fast the other way. Out to Matty Gray. They're going to call a blocking foul there. Looks to be Jacoby Altman that took the heat.
Kind of an in-between one there, Zeke. Usually you see the most charges taken inside the paint. Prior to that cylinder, that one outside of the paint near the elbow. And
yeah, I'm going to have to agree with the refs there on that blocking foul call. It looked like Altman was square, but Gray went in sort of to the side of him. He didn't have the correct positioning as Gray misses the free throw. Sullivan for Woburn. Drives right, finds Altman cutting. Altman, fadeaway jumper, drains it. Jacoby Altman now with 6 points.
that one ties this one up 31-31 as we head to the first timeout stoppage of the second half.
Yeah, credit Ed McGuire's coaching. I mean, throughout this year, it's been tough for Woburn, but they've stuck to him. And the last game against Arlington, he really led the troops to a close game, and today they're still with it, Joe.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of what we saw in their win earlier on the season against Belmont. It was a lot of just excitement for this team, and just despite challenges, they've been able to continue to work together. And it would be great to see them get on the winning side of a game here when they are very much in it against a talented Burlington team.
Well, me and Joe, of course, used to go to Woburn High School, and that Eddie McGuire quarter zip, we've seen it for years.
Absolutely.
As Burlington going the other way fast. Gives it to Matty Gray in the corner. Gray, step back three. Nothing there. Burlington, though, with the rebound. They go up strong. No good. Fight for the rebound. Gray, he got fouled on the putback.
Zeke, you talk about strong. That was the sentiment that entire possession for Burlington, not wanting to give that one up, fighting for the rebound, and it turns into a foul and free throws.
And Matty Gray, one of the players for Burlington that continues to fight and claw for points, as he is now up to 13 points on the game.
Gives the Red Devils back the lead.
Both free throws in for Matty Gray, as of course his brother Justin Gray came in and hit the three ball earlier in the game. But Woburn doing a good job of breaking the press. They do it again. Chiodo under the rim, no good. Sullivan gets the rebound, puts it back up. Air ball on the putback, and Burlington will get called for the travel.
That was a beautiful initial pass by Francois to get it inside to Chiodo. Just a shame that the two chances couldn't be finished.
Yeah, Joe, a good pass, but you wondered if Francois could have taken this shot himself and maybe not given it to Chiodo, a little bit contested under the rim. Chiodo, the inbounder, finds Sullivan on the wing. Poked out of bounds by Burlington.
A little animation there by Coach McGuire on the sideline.
Altman with it, drives right. He takes the fadeaway jumper. Yup. Jacoby Altman starting to come alive here in the third quarter.
Finding a spot in that mid-range area just inside the free throw line. That's where he's made his last two jumpers.
Gray for Burlington on the wing. Guarded by Chiodo very hard. Gray gets a screen. Dishes it off. Guerrier out to a wide open Ryan Ellis, who misses a three. Out fast to Sullivan. Sullivan's going to drive in left from the right wing. A beautiful spin move. Nothing there for Sullivan.
Zeke, on that last defensive possession, Sullivan took a gamble, leaving Ellis open in the corner. Ellis didn't make the three, and then Sullivan missed the layup on the other end, and now we get it reset with Ellis at the top of the key.
Ellis into Guerrier. Guerrier into Matty Gray. Gray guarded by Francois. Francois poked it away, but Gray got it back. Francois, what defense from the young junior. Turned it over to Chiodo. Chiodo going fast the other way. Secondi trailing. What a finish by Chris Chiodo.
Threw some contact at that.
And a timeout there from Burlington.
There's some emotion from the Woburn bench for the first time in this second half. Tanners knowing that they've built some momentum and they've built back up a lead. Zeke, you can see it in their emotion. They truly do want to win this game.
Woburn, they've went through tough times this year with the change of a coach, with hard-fought losses. They just want this one so bad. Joe, if you're in that timeout right now, what's going through the players' minds?
I think you need to keep doing what you're doing. You're working together so well right now. Working together so well right now as a unit and as a team that a lot of the things that are going well in terms of the passing, the defense by Francois, I want to touch on Francois using that low center of gravity despite being an undersized guard is what allowed him to get those two loose balls on the previous possession, and then the Tanners get their lead.
Well, Joey, the athleticism, speed, and hop ability of Jamari Francois cannot be understated. As Burlington back with it. Cole Shannon with the ball. Into Guerrier. Guerrier looking to find Matty Gray. Can't. Finds Shannon. Shannon's going to drive in left onto Shabi. Back out to Ryan Ellis, into Secondi. Secondi's going to drive in on O'Brien, poked away by Aiden Brown. Gray's going to take a wild three at the end of the shot clock, as Secondi gets the rebound. Another possession for Burlington. Gray into Ellis. Ellis back out to Garrier. Garrier drives it on Aiden Brown. Good defense, but a foul.
A never-ending possession, it seemed, there for Burlington for a while, and now it's going to end at the charity stripe. Or rather, no, it'll be an under-the-basket inbound. My mistake.
No, Joe, I really thought it was going to be free throws too, but the refs call that on the floor.
Sort of a triangle, rectangle now type formation from the Red Devils, as one player was offset for a moment.
Matty Gray uses his body well and gets the 2 points. Samuel was guarding. Woburn the other way with Aiden Brown, guarded by Secondi. Samuel's going to rise from the mid-range. No good. Burlington get the rebound.
Good effort there from Tashabi trying to get the rebound, unsuccessful, and it's a 3 on the other end for the Red Devils.
Boy, Matty Gray is lighting this place on fire. He's up to 19. Aiden Brown's going to fake a 3. He's going to drive in right. Crazy shot from the sophomore. Burlington starting to take momentum. Gray drives in. Hop, step, layup, no good. Samuel gets the rebound. Woburn trying to go fast. A blocking foul there on Burlington as Samuel ready to go to the line for 2.
A lot of back and forth chances there, just not much falling on both sides close to the rim. Red Devils currently clinging to a 3-point lead, 2:47 to go. Coach McGuire immediately went out onto the court trying to set up what I thought was going to be a play, but Samuel's now set up at the line.
I think they were arguing at a goaltending call there on the and one shot, as it won't be, and Samuel will get 2 free throws. He misses the first one.
That does sound about right. Now thinking about it again, the location to where McGuire was on the court, I believe he was trying to have a dialogue with the referee, as Samuel goes 0 of 2 from the line and the lead will stay at 3.
Garrier, guarded by Tashabi. Garrier in the corner. That is Justin Gray with it. Gray back to Garrier, drives on 2. Good pass to Secondi. He misses once again. Samuel fighting for it. What a pass there to Nick DeFelice. DeFelice going to drive left, switch right. Circus shot, no good.
Everything but the finish there again, and now DeFelice out of the play on the other end.
What a drive there from Secondi. Fight for the rebound, tipped out of bounds by Woburn.
DeFelice, I believe, might be still down, and you can see Thomas O'Brien pointing in that direction, letting the referees know that someone's going to have to go check on Nick.
As you are exactly right, as Mikey Sullivan checks in for Nick DeFelice, and there'll be a little small, maybe injury time out here.
As you can hear the applause now for DeFelice, who seemed to make it on his way to the bench now. The 5 on the floor for the Tanners are Brown. Rather, Brown will check out now, and it'll be Altman, Samuel, O'Brien, Tashabe, and Sullivan. Possible timeout called there by McGuire as well with 2:06 to go. Zeke, the Red Devils, Burlington will call that timeout rather. That is Coach Connors. And Zeke, Red Devils still currently clinging to a 3-point lead.
Like you said, Joe, Burlington have responded in this second half. They continue to play good basketball and continue to find the arms of Matty Gray. Talk more about him.
He's been the force from the outside for the Red Devils, but I believe he's kind of, as you said earlier in the game, been a 3-level scorer to this point in the game, not afraid to drive, through some contact. He's got some size on a lot of these guards for this Woburn team, so trying to use that to the best of his advantage
Well,
as well.
Joe, both of these teams searching for answers besides their star players. If you look at Woburn, they don't really have that star guy, but Burlington do. So Matty Gray's doing everything he can. Now it's time for Leon Secondi and Anthony Guerrier to respond. As Gray inbounds the ball, now gets it back, posting up Samuel. Gray turns around, tries to get it in, rebounded by Sullivan.
Tough matchup there for Ethan Samuel, but he's able to come away with the stop.
O'Brien drives in left, turns back right, tries to fidget his way through. Sullivan fake the three. He drives right, throws up a wild shot, no good.
Sullivan thought about that three for a long time, and we're going to have a jump ball here.
Woburn basketball, the possession arrow favoring them. Of course, Mikey Sullivan's father's team out in Burlington tonight for Woburn versus Burlington girls basketball. Of course, the Woburn girls undefeated, 58 straight Middlesex League wins in a row, cannot be stopped. O'Brien drives left, now backing down Gray. Gray just takes the ball right of the air.
Woburn foul number 13, O'Brien. His second foul, team fifth foul. 2 shots for Matty Gray.
Matty Gray at the line for 2 shots on the other end. Gray knocks in the first one, makes it a 4-point Red Devil lead. Gray, both of them to go. 21 points for Matty Gray as Altman and the starting lineup check back in. Altman driving hard, he gets fouled. Woburn going back to what that first half game plan was, to drive hard.
Yeah, Zeke, and I think these 2 free throws here for Altman are huge if he's able to knock them down, because the Tanners had kind of gone cold on offense, and it seemed like they were getting close to slipping into that same thing of hanging around for a long time before their opponent builds a lead.
Altman misses the first one, but Joey, you are correct, as Woburn just trying to get back to their bread and butter, attacking the basket as Altman knocks down the second free throw. 1 out of 2 for Altman.
Second in for Burlington, number 1, Ryan Ellis.
Ellis back into the game for Burlington. Of course, not a great game for Ellis so far in this one, but still 9-12 left to go here on WPMC. Burlington with Secondi. Secondi drives hard over O'Brien. Fight for the rebound. Francois has it. Francois looking to drive in once again. Drives in left, throws up a shot. Right off the rim, Secondi with the rebound. Burlington going fast as Matty Gray finishes once again.
Francois has been a guy, Zeke, that's been trying to push the pace all night long. Maybe on that last one, he might have been rushed a little too much.
Altman drives left, behind the back move. Spin move left, Altman fade away. No good. Burlington with Guerrier. Guerrier guarded by Thomas O'Brien.
Chris Chioda wanted a chance to shoot that one from the corner beyond the arc on that last possession. Altman couldn't find him, and now the Red Devils with a chance to build on their 6-point lead.
Guerrier on O'Brien. Gives it out to a Burlington player in the corner, and he's fouled. 4.1 seconds left in the third quarter.
And at the end of the third quarter clock, we are set for free throws. Zeke, at this juncture of the game, you can't be giving your opponent free opportunities to try to build on their lead, but that one's missed.
This is one of those moments where Woburn have to be careful. They need to get out of the habits that they so usually fall into, and that is letting teams go on runs in the most important parts of the game. 2 free throws, though, miss. 2 seconds left. Sullivan is going to take a half-court shot right off the right rim and out.
Good to see Nick DeFelice check back in that final sequence. He'll be a part of this fourth quarter for the Tanners. Looked like he may have got poked in the eye on that injury, but seems like he's good to go, Zeke.
For sure, and of course, Nick DeFelice, one of the integral parts of this team, as Burlington up 6, 42-36. Joey, what are you looking for in the fourth quarter for both of these teams to have success?
I think if you're Woburn, you have to go back to what was working, and that's driving to the basket. And then if your shots aren't going down when you're going to the basket, you have to hope that you can get fouls. But then at the point where you're getting fouls, it becomes imperative that you knock down your shots from the line, which has been a struggle at some points in this ball game.
100%, Joe. And you look at the box score right now. Chris Chiodo has 9 points, but he's a guy that's kind of been slow in the last couple of minutes, you might say?
Yeah, I think he was off the ball for those last couple possessions. I mentioned earlier he was in the corner. He's a guy that's not afraid to shoot from beyond the arc. And he's someone I believe is trustworthy to shoot from beyond the arc, but it's just a matter of if he's getting the ball, and when he's off the ball, is he getting into spots where he feels comfortable shooting?
100%, and we haven't seen the drives that we saw in that first half from Woburn. See if they can get back there. Burlington up 6. The fourth quarter is underway. Guerrier finds Gray. Gray guarded by Chioda. Gray hands it off to Guerrier.
DeFelice shuts down the spin.
Shannon, guarded by DeFelice. Shannon's going to drive right on DeFelice. DeFelice blocks the door as a crazy shot from Burlington. O'Brien, good defense. Fight for the rebound. Burlington have it. Secondi into Shannon in the corner. Out to Matty Gray for a wide open 3. Nothing but net.
That's a backbreaker there, Zeke. If you're the Tanners, that's the third possession of that trip for the Red Devils, and it ends in a long-distance tray.
Matty Gray up to 26 points in this one. Sullivan trying to respond in the corner, guarded by Gray, looking for Altman. Altman fakes the mid-range fadeaway. Altman, a couple dribble moves, tries to drive left, right off of his knee. Secondi picks it up. Gray's going to attack. He gets fouled by Sullivan. The motor's starting to turn for the Red Devils.
Zeke, I'm not mad at that foul. If you're the Tanners, they were trying to make Burlington earn those 2 points at the line.
Matty Gray having one of the games of his life in this one.
First free throw good, and it's a double-digit lead. That dreaded double-digit lead that we've been talking about. For the Tanners, opposition has arrived here with the Red Devils up 11, 47-36.
Matty Gray up to 28 points. DeFelice trying to respond with a mid-range fadeaway. Pure.
You said it there, Zeke. That one, just a beautiful sequence there from DeFelice on the post fade, and he knocks down the jumper.
All the attention on Gray, but a beautiful feed to Secondi on the baseline cut. Now you question, Joe, do the Tanners need to find Nick DeFelice more?
He will float it to Altman.
Altman into Sullivan. Beautiful pass to O'Brien. O'Brien puts it up. Guarded by Shannon. He wanted the foul, doesn't get it. O'Brien up to 4 points. Guerrier on Altman.
Tight defense there by Jacoby, but it ends up in a foul.
A little bit silly from Altman as he tried to reach in a couple times there, but once again called for the foul. Not one of the trademark Jacoby Altman defensive performances in this one. Matty Gray picks it up for Burlington. Burlington up 9, a game that they were down early. Shannon looks, finds Ellis. Ellis drives left, gives it to Guerrier. Guerrier the spin move. Finds Shannon. Shannon, beautiful pass to Guerrier, who finishes on the cut.
Burlington basket number 10.
Give credit to Guerrier there as well, finding the open space and getting to a point where he could receive the pass.
DeFelice tries the spin move, looks for the shot. He gets it, he gets fouled.
DeFelice with an opportunity to get it back to a single-digit deficit, but clock is not on the side of the Tanners. Right now, is it, Zeke?
Not at all. These free throws imperative. First free throw is up and in.
Making it for Woburn number 4, Tushabi.
5 points for DeFelice up to this point. Not what you might expect out of the senior guard. Both free throws up and in now to 6 points. As Jairus Tashabi, the three-point sniper for Woburn, checks in.
Yeah, Zeke, that's a little bit of an interesting decision in my eyes from the Woburn coaching staff, as they immediately get exposed for the small ball lineup, and going right to the basket was Matty Gray, and the lob finish on the layup, and Secondi with a rejection, and he looks back the other way.
Matty Gray up to 30. Secondi with the rejection. A wide open three in the corner. That would have called it quits for Woburn. Sullivan the other way. He drives right, looking to rise. He gets called for the travel. All wheels falling off for the Tanners here in the Carl J. Torres Gymnasium.
You could see some frustrations starting to boil over. DeFelice will take a seat as well. Some more late substitutions by Coach McGuire and the rest of the Woburn coaching staff.
Altman picks it up. Good steal by him. A finish on the other end by Chris Chiodo. But you look on the bench, Eddie McGuire and Nick DeFelice not happy with each other, as you might see, as Matty Gray dishes it off to his brother Justin Gray. Gray back to Matty Gray. Matty Gray guarded by Chiodo. Couple hacks there into Secondi. Guarded by Tashabi. Out of bounds there by Secondi. Woburn get back possession. Down 9 points, 3:57 left to go.
Offense needs to keep things going. Zeke, as we've said, the clock not on the side of the Tanners.
Francois back into the game, into Sullivan. As a timeout there from Woburn. They want to go back to the drawing board. A couple substitutions that you might ask the question of. Nick DeFelice out of the game. Jamari Francois and Jairus Tashabi in. What would you say to that?
Yeah, Zeke, the one that jumps out to me most is Tashabi in for Thomas O'Brien. I mentioned that immediately means you're going small if you're the Tanners, as Thomas O'Brien has been the mainstay 5 for a lot of these Woburn Tanner basketball games these past 2 seasons now. And immediately, Matty Gray was able to take advantage of it. They set up a play for him to dive right to the rim, and he gets 2.
Well, if you're taking a look at the screen right now and seeing the players sitting on the bench, that does not include Mikey Sullivan, Nick DeFelice, or Thomas O'Brien.
So a lot of this veteran core not playing down the stretch of the 9-point game.
Just very surprising with the players that Woburn have out there. Tashabi, Samuel, Francois, Chiodo, and Altman. Tashabi, the inbounder. Finds Francois. Gets the screen from Samuel. Francois, cutting move left. Puts it up, he gets fouled. Great attack from Jamari Francois, have we seen all game.
Burlington foul number 23. Again, his second foul.
With the exception of Altman on the floor right now, these are 4 players that are going to be a major part of this program in a couple of years. So I'm wondering if this coaching staff alongside Ed McGuire wants to see what they have for the future.
And what have you liked about Francois' game in this one?
I think something that's jumped out to me ever since we started seeing Jamari Francois play at this level is his energy, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. You can obviously see his quickness when he's dribbling the basketball as he drives right in there, and they're going to call a travel rather than a foul against Sakandi, and it's another Tanner turnover. But another thing I mentioned earlier, his low center of gravity on defense kind of allows opposing teams to underestimate his ability, I would say. And he's kind of a sneaky, good ball defender as well, as we're going to get an and one on the other end. Tanner's one for the charge, no call.
Sakandi starting to get on fire. Excuse me, that being Anthony Garrier at the line. But once again, Woburn struggling to defend Burlington down the stretch. A big three-point shot the previous possession by Justin Gray. He's up to 2 3-pointers, and Garrier finishes it. Samuel drives in hard, no good. Chiodo with the putback up and in.
Right place, right time for Chris Chiodo. Give him credit for getting that one to tip home.
A Burlington timeout here as they fail to get the inbound in. Head coach Phil Connors opts for the timeout, but Woburn falling apart down the stretch. What does that go down to, Joe?
I think for me, it's just a lack of defensive discipline. You saw an increase in fouls late in the third quarter as well, which allowed Burlington to get to the free throw line. They've been able to convert outside of the 1 0 for 2 in that third quarter. And then aggressiveness, although it can be a good time or a good thing for some teams, it can be a detriment at times as well. And aggressiveness and those fouls have been connected in this game for the Tanners.
As once again, O'Brien, Sullivan, and DeFelice take a seat. As no Jaskarn Botti in this one. Maybe an injury there.
Altman remains with the young core of Teshabe, Francois, Samuel, and Chiodo. Zeke in the final 2:56. The Red Devils have a chance to salt this one away.
There's almost a yam there by Matty Gray. Gives it to his brother Justin Gray, who knocks down his third three in this one. They cannot stop the younger brother. Teshabe takes a three, no good. Everything falling apart for the Tanners.
Red Devils look like they're trying to have some fun in this final 2.5 minutes or so.
Justin Gray tried another three. He didn't get anything there. Samuel tried a drive. He gets fouled.
3 bodies hit the floor and some whistles, preventing some extracurriculars. I think Chris Chiodo tried to take exception to some of that extra contact. And we'll see how the referees sort this one out. Coach Connors out near mid-court, Zeke, trying to get an explanation to what's happening here.
Questions will continue to be asked on this Woburn team and how they still struggling to execute down the stretch, as this was a 29-29 game at halftime.
Yeah, Zeke, and the outcome of that scrum there is a foul on Matty Gray and Ethan Samuel at the line for some free throws. This first one is good.
As the girls took a 63-36 victory in Burlington tonight, so credit Steve Sullivan and his guys continuing to have incredible success, to say the least.
and dominance in the Middlesex League, as Samuel went 1 of 2 from the line there. Francois also took a seat for Aiden Brown. So another one of those younger guys getting some run here late.
To Shabby with a deep three. No good. Rebounded long by Altman. Altman fakes the three. He drives in on Secondi. Gets rejected by Secondi. Secondi going out fast. He finishes. No, he does not. Good defense by Samuel. Tashabi gets fouled.
Burlington foul number 2, Matt Gray, his second foul, team 4th foul.
Zeke, I'd like to hear as well what you think about this. One of the things I think that the Tanners can't take away as a positive on offense is the success that they've had driving to the rim. Unfortunately, the Red Devils have caught on and have defended it well late in this game.
As some of the younger guys in for the Tanners as this game is gone, Tashabi takes a three. No good. That is Jack Duror, who took a three a couple moments ago. As, of course, J.J. Charles and Jaskarn Bati out in this one. Shannon just going to dribble out the shot clock, it looks like, guarded by Altman.
Altman has remained in this game as the point leader of this young group.
Shannon gets the screen from Gray. Gray wide open for a three. He's going to take it way off. Rebounded by Secondi. Into Guerrier, out to Gray. He's had the game of his life, up to 30 points. Shannon just going to dribble it out here. Guarded by Altman. Shannon going all the way. He gets fouled by Samuel. Just wasting our time at this point, Joe.
41.9 seconds remaining in this game. Zeke, I know the scoreboard looks out of proportion as we approach the end of this one. But as you said, this was a 29-29 game going into the second half.
It was a tie game, a lot of scoring on the line, but this is different from the Arlington one. Woburn stuck in it through the whole way, knew their competition, played well, lost by just a couple points as Jack Dedor gets his first points of this one. But this one, Woburn just fell apart when it mattered most. And just so many questions to be asked as Guerrier going to drive in all the way. Secondi, 18 seconds left. Burlington just going to dribble this one out.
Bierauer with some defense. I want to shine some light on the assist there. Aiden Brown gets the nice pass inside to Jack on the final basket, but it'll be the Red Devils coming away with the victory in this one, 63-49.
It was all Matty Gray. 30 points. His brother had 9 with 3 threes. Guerrier had 9, and it was just an all-around performance for the Red Devils coming into Woburn and taking care of business. Any final thoughts, Joey?
Still some positives to take away for the Tanners. Need to look at what went well in that first half and try to emulate it later on in this season. But the talent of Matty Gray and company became too much for the Tanners late, and the Red Devils improved to 8-3 on the season, while the Tanners fall to 1-8.
While Burlington continues their hot scoring, Woburn fall again. 1-8, like you said, Joey. 63-49, the Tanners fall by 14 points. Matty Gray had 30 for Burlington. Altman tried to respond for Woburn, but that will do it for us here on WPMC. From Joey Matroni, my name is Zeke Allman. We thank Kevin Burkett in the studio, Gavin Popolo in the camera, and of course our awesome producer, Anthony Gilio. Thank you and good night.